2013. So, by most people's levels of expectation, if you will, I'm not a noob, but every time that I factor myself as not a noob, I am proven wrong in one manner or another, and it generates a higher level of being humble and saying, admitting where you're wrong, right? So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's life. That's not just crypto, though. That's just an outlook you have that you apply to crypto. So kudos to
no, you're
you.
very right. Yeah, most people don't have this outlook, and it bothers me, right? I fucking don't like when people come into anything and assume they're the greatest and fucking know everything. If you're gonna be on that level, you better have the chops to back it up.
Yeah, yeah. And there's certainly a lot of people in these types of spaces, not even just crypto, but the world of the closed bubble of internet and the non-accountability aspect that really do like to flex like they know more than they do.
Well, it's not just on the internet, right? I mean, like I'm still I'm not gonna say 9 to 5 because I don't work 9 to 5. I work much greater hours than most do. But you see it in the field all the time. You get a guy that comes in and likes to pretend and knows everything when in reality he's dumber than half of the fucking green bees that come on. And you just have to fucking take a step back and laugh at him.
Yeah, agreed. You just, I suppose it's not so much internet versus real life. It's just when you get, the way you can end up, you know, inside part of a bubble, not captured by it, but inside it and experiencing a small bubble where a lot of people follow the very same narrative.
Oh, of course, yeah. And their narrative is they're always right and everybody else is wrong. It's fucking ridiculous. If you can't admit when you're wrong, then you're never gonna change your worldview. You're never gonna fucking grow as a person. In my opinion, you're a waste of a human being, and you need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it does not make for conducive interaction whatsoever.
Well, no, and if you believe you're the best, then how are you ever gonna fucking grow, right? So,
For sure. What's that old saying? I'm not a huge fan of it, but it still makes some amount of sense. Is that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room? Yeah, that's the one.
I like that saying, but it makes me sad because 9 times out of 10, I'm fucking smartest person in the fucking room.
I like it.
No, that's a good one, man. And I mean, fuck me, get me into the right room. That's why I like coming in here. There's a lot of times where I come in and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, 9 times out of 10, I fucking know what I'm talking about. I do my best to help, but there's always that one guy that comes in and even if he's wrong, he will make me reevaluate my opinion on the matter and make me think. And he'll make me question if I'm wrong. Now, whether that's second guessing myself or not, I don't give a shit because it makes me think.
Well, yeah, that's the learning mentality, isn't it? You can learn from anyone at the end of the day. And yeah, it's a very
Now, that I greatly agree with. I have learned things from, 5, 6 year olds that I didn't know or I didn't remember. Now, obviously, it's not the greatest fucking information, but it proves the point.
yeah, absolutely. And on your point about it's it's more about it's something you said earlier and I wanted to touch on that I liked was it's not so much that it's I can't remember what it was you said, but it's about only speaking about things that you know about. as opposed to listening when you don't know. I can't remember what it was you said earlier, but it was on the topic of people speaking about, out of their place and out of turn. It's a wise approach to, only speak up and be very sure about things that you actually know about.
Not necessarily. And let me explain why. So, and Richard put this the best and made me really think about it. If you don't know the answer to a question, go post the wrong answer on the internet because people are very happy to correct you to affirm their own status. So you'll get the right answer purely by giving the wrong one. So
Yeah,
in times it can be of great use to just say retarded, blasphemous nonsense that somebody else will come and correct you on. But I agree with the general sentiment of what you're saying.
yeah, no, and yeah, no, you're right in what you say as well. I didn't articulate my point very well. I was trying to harken back to something you'd said and couldn't quite formulate what it was. But no, you're right. Like, so if I do any kind of public presentation, one of the first things, if there's a board, I'll write on it is I write questions dash answers dash solutions, because it's to get the point across to people that please ask any questions at all that you have, because questions lead to answers and answers lead to solutions.
God, I agree. And I wish with most conversations I had with people, I had a great big whiteboard behind me to write things as we went along. But unfortunately, life doesn't really present you with those great fucking opportunities. So the only time I get that is when I'm in my house. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a good philosophy to live by. It can be done without being written, but yeah, if I ever do, public speaking stuff and I have a board, then I do like to write that up and then explain it clearly. It can be tough to draw it out of people.
Well, public speaking in general is tough to do. So kudos to you for being able to do it. This is the closest thing to public speaking I do, aside from gathering people I know to discuss crypto and finance in general, because I don't have the opportunity, or I shouldn't say that. I do have the opportunity, but I've never pushed myself to be on stage and to have that opportunity. I hope to do that one day. I think I'm getting better with talking to people and gaining my sales pitches, and I shouldn't even say sales pitches, but you know what I mean. Conveying my point. That's a better way of saying it.
Well, I mean, you've done a pretty damn fine job of it so far, so you should give it a shot.
That's what I keep hearing, and it's funny because I only ever come on here when I'm drunk. So we should probably start trying to do this sober, so I can kind of have a feeling for both. Like right now, I'm at a mid game. I think I'm at like 8 or 9 beers or whatever, but they're Canadian beers, so they're strong. But last time I was on here, I had a good conversation after about 2 6 of rum, and I was impressed that nobody complained about any kind of speech impediment or my arguments not making sense. I think everybody's pretty impressed with it so far. So either I'm good at speaking or I'm an alcoholic. Or both.
I'm from Scotland, so I'm both.
Oh, perfect. Maybe I'm in the same boat. I got a lot of Irish in my blood, and I'm a Canadian. So.
I'll tell you one thing, when you stand up in front of people, and once you get over the initial nerves and you get talking, it's not too dissimilar a feeling of inebriation. I'll say that.
Yeah, see, I've yet to do it sober. I've tried to do it like with family members, right? A few select members, and we'll have good conversation. Everything will flow well. But like the only time I've ever like got up in front of people is in like bar settings or somewhere where there is alcohol involved, and specifically this chat room, right? Like I said, I don't come in here when I'm sober and talk to people. I've always been an introvert by nature, and it's something that I'm trying to break out of my shell. So whenever I come in here, the first thing I do is say, "Hey, how's it going?" and trying to get people to talk. And thank fuck that you jumped out and started talking, because otherwise I would have just started rambling until somebody else said something.
I've done that myself many times in this chat room. So I always like it when someone comes in and speaks up, because I do it often and you end up with tumbleweeds.
Oh, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, the ramblings can be good. They spark conversations. And even if nobody speaks back, you got 15 people listening, give or take, right? And I'm sure if they're all actually listening, you've stirred up the minds of at least one of them. So that to me is a good thing.
Agreed, yeah. I've done the same in the past, but usually when I ramble, it's about, my profession, which is health and wellness. So I usually go off into those rants. But I've not been in a while. I've been busy doing other stuff, working on other
Interesting.
things.
So for health and wellness, you're like a life coach? Are you like what does that specifically entail?
As well, as far as life coaching, I mentor young people, a lot autistic kids and stuff like that, and just help them to develop into young adults and then all that kind of thing. My eldest one's just about to finish a director's course in Canada, actually. Um, yeah, and as far as like the health and fitness stuff, I consider what I do to be longevity training, and I specialize in like injury and structural instability recovery work. But I
Ah,
can,
good for you, man. That's fantastic to hear. I'm happy to have that. I'm happy to have you as a member of the community. Um, Main reason I ask is I'm looking for some kind of health and wellness advice, but not. It's on a different level. I'm looking more to gain as like working out and trying to be a little bit better of a person, though I have a general structure on how to do that. Um, but hearing that you work with kids, man, that's super cool. I
yeah.
been homeschooling
I mean,
my kids and plan to do it in the future, but nothing on the level of dealing with any kind of special needs. And I would imagine that takes a very special individual to deal with, because there's all kinds of levels of frustration and everything else that goes along with that. So seriously, kudos.
all different, all different kinds of levels of perspective and approach to life that they have as well. So, everyone is different. Just say that. But I mean, you can check my profile and join my group if you want. It's like I don't shill or anything like that. I just post up little videos of stuff and answer questions if people want it. But I'm not shilling anything on there, so it's not like that. It's a small group as well. So, but yeah, I post
Well,
videos. So you're
I guess
welcome
my
to
question.
have a look if you want.
Yeah, no, I'll come take a peek, but my question is the information going to be relevant to me, right? You sound like you're a very niche group. So when you talk about like health and wellness, aside from, helping autistic kids, then
Oh no, I mean I run a gym.
how's sorry.
I run a gym.
Okay, so you could give me like dietary advice then.
Yeah, yeah. Dietary advice, fitness, strength, everything, everything.
All right, well then I actually do have a couple of questions for you if you don't mind answering them here, if that's not
Sure.
inappropriate. I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody
No,
else is talking about anything, so.
no, shoot, mate. Fire in. I love to talk about that stuff.
No, perfect. That's sweet, man. I don't have a lot of people to talk to about this. Most people in my life don't give a flying fuck. And to be honest, I've gotten most of my answers from Crypto Jimrad. He's helped me out a lot, but my my biggest problem over the last decade or so has been gaining weight, which is the opposite of what most people have
Ah,
the problem of.
I
And
know.
everybody says, "Oh, just eat more." Well, eat more. doesn't actually help that much because, if I can eat 4 Big Macs a day, meals and Cokes and then drinking beers on top of it. And then at the end of the day, after a 12-hour day of working a labor intensive job, I've still lost weight, then it doesn't help. And all I've done is clog my arteries more. So I've been more focused on weight building in a more healthy manner. And it's hard, man, because I mean, like realistically, what's the answer? It's more carbs, more protein, and just eat more. But like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can help me with my position here.
Well, it's funny you say that because I went through the exact same thing, my friend. I was 9 to 9.5 stone for most of my life. Went through, I suppose, what you could call body dysmorphia when I was 28 because I felt like I wasn't heavy enough or big enough to be a man or whatever. And then in my pursuits of trying to do it with excessive, silly, you know, bodybuilder style weight training that everybody does, which, can work, but it's not very good for your body. Just ask any retired bodybuilder. Um, I injured my shoulder really badly, and the weight I put on just dropped right off, and then I realized it wasn't sustainable. So first of all, I was just like, okay, I'll just be happy with who I am. I mean, I'm a martial artist and quite adept at it, so I had no real reason to think bad of myself. But you know the way that kind of shit works. You've maybe gone through some of it yourself, by the sounds of it. But
I have, but the fact that you have the martial arts under your belt is something I don't have, and it's been something I've been pushing myself to. But the problem is I work 24 days a month out of town, and
mhm,
there's no gym that I can subscribe myself to that will actually help me in that manner of training in any martial arts because where I go, there's no gym for that, right? Like I wanted, and I've taken a few classes in Krav Maga because that really piqued my interest for, somebody who's on the slimmer side, but still giving a fighting chance. So that was my martial art of choice. But now I'm faced with the dilemma of I can't go to the gym and train.
right, okay. I mean, one thing I will say is I'm a lifetime martial artist, but I trained at 2 clubs in my entire life. Um, some kind of smaller one-to-one work and some workshops and stuff like that. But I had to do a similar thing. I had to do a lot of it myself, on my own, or just pulling people out of places. So, and the same goes for your physical stuff. Like, I mean, you can always do it. You don't need a gym. Like, even at base level, and when you're training to be a PT, you should be able to train. They tell you should be able to train someone in, a 4 by 4 foot space. If you can't do that, then you can't train someone. Um, so there's that. So I mean, don't lose hope because there isn't a gym. It's just finding something that you can enjoy in the right way, I suppose, and something that you can keep consistent with. Um, so that's important. Like consistency is king. So at my place, my people, they train 5 days a week at my gym. Um, Everybody does, including my 69-year-old client. She trains 5 days a week.
So if you don't mind me jumping in here, there's
Yep.
there's two things that one thing I have to say and one thing I have to question. And so the first thing is with where I am, I cannot find a trainer. So when it comes to like actual martial arts and fighting and defending yourself, that's where I'm at a struggle because I can't find a guy. I might be able to see one lesson once a month when I'm off work. But when it comes to personal training, as you've said, you don't need a gym, and I agree with that. My biggest thing is I have always been a nerd, and I've read sci-fi. I I try and fucking take the advice and everything, but it's finding the willpower for the consistency, right? Like I would much rather drink beer, code on my computer, read a book, and then come on here and chat than I would do 100 push-ups a day, which I know I'm capable of. I've done it for a few weeks on end, and then I drop out of the habit, and it's maintaining the habit that I find the hardest problem.
Yeah. And I would rather do all those things except for the coding part as well, for sure. And this isn't like a dressing down thing. Is like, oh, I would rather do that, but I don't. No, that's not what I mean. All I mean is that it's all of us at a human level. You know, that's what we would do naturally, unless, like, for instance, when we were hunter gatherers, we were left with no choice but to go out and be physical and just to live, for instance. Okay,
No,
that's
and
what
you're
we
right.
would.
So my question to you then, as somebody who coaches people on this, is what is a good way to motivate yourself aside from constantly hammering your brain with the what ifs and the imaginary horribles that could happen? Is there any other method in gaining consistency for building upon these things? Because like I've hammered myself with all of them, and then at some point, apathy really just kicks in, after a rough day or fucking whatever, and then the habit's gone. So like I need something other than the what ifs and the imaginary horribles.
For sure. So, I mean, one of the first things I always advise people is, especially like in yours and my position of interaction right now, is, start with 5 minutes a day, every day.
That's
You
it.
can
Five
you can
minutes.
allow you can allow yourself to skip a day occasionally.
Okay, so now
Not
if I was to do 5 minutes a day, what would you recommend doing? Because like I said, when I would sit down and I would do, like, I tried the fucking, as ridiculous as it is, the Saitama workout, right? Which is the stupid anime, right? Where it's 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and you run 10 kilometers. I never did the 10 kilometers because that was outrageous to me. Cardio's never been a big thing for me because I get it more than enough at work. But so I can't do that in 5 minutes. If I was doing that normally, that would be a 45-minute workout for me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I say 5 minutes, apart from anything else, you can get your heart rate up. I mean, 5 minutes obviously isn't optimal. So this is for a consistency thing. Like if you're just trying to get consistency, okay, you can do 5 minutes, pick two movements like push-ups and squats, and do 30 seconds of push-ups, 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds of push-ups, 30 seconds of squats. That's 5 sets
So
each.
time it instead of repetitions.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
actually a fucking wicked idea, man. Thank you.
yeah. I'm very, very. Usually, the only time I branch into repetition counting is if I'm doing serious, I say serious, but focused strength work. So, like with my guys, I break it up into four elements: cardio, mobility, recovery, and strength. And there'll always be things mixed in. There'll be some complexity in the cardio and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a mix, but tends to be broken up into those four parts. So, you can even do that yourself. Uh, you know, a cardio based one, a strength based one, a mobility based one. But we're kind of getting into more complex factors here. 5 minutes, start with that. You'll probably find after doing that for 5 minutes, you'll want to do more. But don't just do
No, and
that.
you're right. You're right.
Just do that
Because
for a
like I
day,
said, when I was
for a
when I
week,
was doing that
or 2
Saitama,
weeks.
like, oh, sorry, I'm talking over you. Now you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, so if you're doing 5 minutes, you're going to get that little charge, and you're probably going to want to go more, um, and feel like you haven't done enough. But just keep that consistent for a week to 2 weeks, depending. It depends on the individual. a week to 2 weeks, and then step up to 10 minutes, and then boom, step up to 15 minutes. And trust me, one of my favorite workouts to do is something I call a 15-minute blast, where I pick 3 movements and I do, without any break, 1 minute of each 5 times. And if you pick the right movements, let's say you do something like burpees, for instance, and skipping, and at the gym I'll usually throw the heavy bag in there as well. Like, you know, you can you can be dying after that. I mean, I did it with I've got a young, very very fit, very in shape martial artist that can just go and go and go and go. And I had him do one of these 15-minute blast ones, and he was fucking dying by the end of it because of the movements that I selected, because there was no break in between the movements. And a lot of commercial workout things kind of play on that. But I used to teach Insanity by Beachbody back in the day. Ugh. And they kind of play on that, and they also injure a lot of people and hurt them, but that's another matter. So yeah, my basic point is, if you can get up to 15 minutes a day, you're doing pretty good.
I'm going to start doing that. I really appreciate your input on this. If you don't mind, if you'll send me a DM for your group, I'll happily join. Like, you already convinced me on this.
Got to unmute myself, sorry. It's my bio, mate. It's open to join. I have full protection bots, and I put the word out to people for scammers as well, if any of them join. But yeah, it's in my bio. So just click that link and you can join me. It's no problem. There's a bunch of videos and stuff in the pinned messages as well. They're mostly kind of recovery based things, but yeah, I ask for requests, etc. So yeah, free to join,
I
mate.
just joined, man. Seriously, thank you. I'll add you into my regular list of watch lists, if you will. So no, seriously, thank you.
My pleasure, mate. My pleasure.
So now my question to you, which is back to crypto chat, because that's what this is, right? I mean, that this was for us, and anybody that took anything out of that, sweet. I'm happy for you. Please go join this guy's channel. If you just heard the same things I did and you liked it, fuck, why not? Right? Go learn more. But back to the crypto chat. You watched the Richard Hart live stream with oh geez, what the fuck is his name? Rolex? No, not Rolex. What the fuck? Rolo? The guy on the Rational Mail podcast. Did you watch that one?
I think so. Is that the guy that had the camera facing the side of him while he was talking ahead of him? Is that one?
Kind of. It was a huge panel, right? So you had
Oh, right. Yeah, actually, I was just watching that before I came on here. I
yeah, it
wasn't,
was recent. It's very recent.
but it was it seemed quite nice actually. Seemed like quite a pleasant one for a change.
No, that was a really good one. They talked about a lot of interesting things that aren't my normal talking points that I've understood and I commit to telling other people. So I was able to send that to my father and get him to watch it because it was like, hey, this isn't like there's going to be some things you hear in this that you hear me talk about, but it's there's a lot of other really interesting information in here, right? Like it's a good podcast.
Yeah, I haven't finished watching it yet, and I intend to because it's been pretty good so far. I have to say,
Hey,
it's a break
excuse me,
from the
guys.
usual that we get.
Quick question. Are do any of you guys know who Link is?
Who? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm unaware of him. Blank.
Yeah, Link. Link howtopulse.com.
Is that a
No, I
YouTuber?
know how to pulse, but I don't know a Lank. Why? What's he saying? Like, can you give us more information here? Maybe we can help.
Yeah, no. Are you guys familiar with Papa Boemir? I think his name is.
Papa
Papa
Boner,
Boner. And yes, I love Papa Boner. That
Yeah,
guy is well revered within this community.
yeah, he's amazing. He's helped me so much. Um, so Papa Boner, kind of referred me to Link, because I assume that my MetaMask that I sacrificed from is somewhat compromised, and so I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's to work with Link, because apparently Link is helping a lot of people out who believe their MetaMask is compromised, and I just want to know if
Okay,
anyone what
okay,
so
anyone can do.
here's my problem with that. I don't know who Lank is, and by the sounds of it, he's still remaining somewhat anonymous. If Papa Boner referred him, then there's some merit to that, but at the end of the day, you still shouldn't trust anyone. So my question to you is, why do you believe that your MetaMask is compromised, and how big of a risk factor is this?
Definitely, I'll be right back. My family's calling. I'll come right back, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Just pop back on, say hi.
yeah, I think I remember Papa Boner mentioning Lank before when they're talking about possibly helping with recovery when it comes to that.
Well, and I haven't heard about Papa Boner talking recovery, period. Right? It's always been protect your shit or you're fucked. So that's where my kind of alarm goes off. But I'm like I said, I'm not in this chat room enough to know if he does talk about these things. I wouldn't trust some random guy on the internet, which is why I'm kind of curious on why he believes his thing's compromised. And on top of that, has he been talking to the real Papa Boner?
I think, well, that's something we'll definitely need to clarify. Uh, but I think what it is something to do with what he's done with his sacrifice. I think possibly he's used the word compromised wrong. Um, but we'll need to wait and find out.
Maybe, but I've seen pop-ups recently of like this, hey, if you've been compromised, then message this address and then, fill out this form and maybe we can race the hackers against you. And like I see that and like I've so many red flags go up, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, they could be out for the better good. They could be white hats. But like the white hats, you know,
I mean, if you spoke to, I know I've heard Papa Boner referring people when they come in about questions about sacrifices and stuff like that before, but I don't know. We need to clarify with the guy.
I'm gonna at him. I'm gonna add him in the chat and see if I don't know what time it is where he's at. I know he's in Japan, but if he's awake, I'm gonna at him and see if I can get him into the conversation on this, just for all of our well-beings, because like I think you and me are both confused on this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I sent him a message. I just threw it out in the main chat. If he's up, maybe he'll see it. I think he's an admin in this chat, so it should pop up. And I only saw one name pop up when I popped that up, so we'll see. And that's a lot of pops for a guy named fucking Pop-Up Owner.
I've never actually seen his at tag. Let me have a look.
I've messaged him a few times. I've jumped in here and I've had people jump in with questions of Trezor, and I'm still new to Trezor. I'm still playing with it, familiarizing myself. So I just refer to him, and I've messaged him a few times. Just said, hey, jump on if you know what's up. Did you catch the name of that guy that jumped in and said something? I didn't see his name when he was talking.
I think it was AK something, because I had to go and turn his volume up. He was really quiet.
Oh, shit, I wish I had that fucking option. I'm on mobile, so.
Yeah, me too. You just
How the fuck do you do that on mobile?
tap their name in in the chat, and it comes up. Mute, open chat, or turn the volume up and down.
Ah, dude, no way. I didn't see that you could do that. I've got everybody on here is at 100%, so there was no adding it higher, but good to know. Thank you.
Sorted. Where are you from, by the way?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just asking, where are you from?
Canada, unfortunately, the communist or socialist Republic of Canada.
Yeah, I thought I could hear Canada in your voice. Yeah, it's interesting over
Yeah,
there.
I try and disguise it, but you can't, right? The Midwestern accent comes in, and we say all kinds of funny garbage.
Get relatives in Canada. Vancouver, I believe.
I hope they're doing well.
The last I heard, yeah, they do okay. Let's say my eldest, not my eldest student, but my eldest mentor and student, he's just about to finish up a year at I think he's, where is he? I can't remember. I always say Vancouver because that's the one that pops into my head. I just finished.
No, here in Canada we call it Vancouver. Vancouver of China.
That's, yes, he is in Vancouver because he told me about that. There's a large population there.
It's not even the population that's the problem. It's the direct politics with the CCP. Like there's a lot of drug trafficking, and it goes deep, man. Like it goes right down to our feds or to our RCMP. It's pretty atrocious what's happening, but most people don't know or they don't care, right? They're not fucking paying attention. It's the reason why I'm in this chat and most others aren't.
That's how it is in every country, I believe.
Maybe,
Well,
but like, so specifically, we offered a foreign buyers incentive to bring in foreigners into Canada. We offered a very minimal penalty for if they buy the housing but do not rent it or use it. So typically they come in and they the fentanyl and opioid on our fucking soil, which is absolute dog shit to me. That's why Canada's been cut out of major security councils specifically from the US, because we're not to be trusted anymore. And it breaks my heart because I fucking love the US. I love capitalism. I love the West. And it seems like our government is trying to break away from it. That's why I want to get away from this place.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to hear from, like from someone like you from Canada, talking about the things that go on there, right? I mean, I can't speak for any other country, but I know that in the US, um, multiple government agents, government heads and whatnot have been involved with, cocaine, trafficking and whatnot. It's not even like shocking news anymore. Mexico, the same thing, right? In Mexico, the same thing.
The spies within your country, man. Like there was a few political leaders. The one that really caught everybody's attention was the guy who was sleeping with a Chinese spy. I can't even remember his name now, but yeah, it was just mind-boggling. And the fact that he is still a Senate member just blows my mind. I can't believe that he's still there.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, But like I said, as far as the U.S. and Mexico, it's the same damn thing. I can't speak for any other country, but I know that it's literally the same damn thing. It's funny because we had this conversation multiple times, like with friends, and we kind of just figured, like for example, we compared Mexico to the U.S., right? In Mexico, they just don't give a shit, whether you know it or not. Here in the U.S., they try to like cover it up and make it seem like they're good people, but in the background, they're doing all this shit.
Yeah, they pretend to give a shit, and it sucks, man. Like our politicians do the same thing. They'll preach for Canadian sovereignty and all this other shit, while meanwhile they're fucking taking backdoor deals. Like there's mayors left, right, and center that are taking deals and have been exposed, but they're still in office. And again, nobody. It just comes down to the people not knowing or not giving a shit. And I think it's a combination of both, because they've been exposed multiple times, but has been shut down by main media sources. And it's the same in the US. Though with the US, it was harder because there were major media outlets that were taking that story on. So a lot more people saw it, especially due to the population difference, right? Like Canada's population is barely 1/10 of America's population, right? So the fact
Wow,
that
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. In Canada here, I think we have a population of 39 million, which is nothing in comparison to the States. I think the States just broke 400 million, didn't you?
I'm not sure the numbers, dude, but that's a big difference. I'm wondering though, and I've always wondered, like, how did you guys acquire that? Canadians are friendly. Like, how did you guys, earn that?
How did we acquire what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
How did you earn, the saying that a lot of people say that Canadians are friendly?
Canadians are what? Sorry, we're friendly?
Friendly, yes, like friendly, nice. They don't like confrontation. I've heard this a lot.
Because if you talk to any average Canadian, the most likely response you are going to get is "I am sorry," or you're going to get some kind of courteous result from any conversation. We tend to be very courteous in our mannerisms. So for the States, we're most likely comparable to North or South Dakota, right? So like I said, if you walk through a door, say after somebody else, say they pull the door open and they walk through before you, they're most likely to turn around and say, "I'm sorry." It's not very often that you don't get an apology, and we do our best to be friendly in every manner regardable. But the problem with that is that it weakens us, right? So yeah, we might be friendly, but now we're friendly to letting the wrong people in. And I think that's why we've been disregarded by major security councils, because the people are okay with it, because the people say, "Oh, well, we're just doing our best to be good people, right? We're trying to be the best people we can be." Meanwhile, our government is doing all this weird, shady shit, which is getting us cut out from a lot of the major things. And we're slowly, we're not even slowly, we are a socialist nation at this point. And it is a huge problem. And unfortunately, the vast majority of the middle and lower class haven't figured it out yet. And the rich are smart enough to dodge all of the socialist bullshit. And now with our leaders, the Trudeau and the opposition, which isn't really the opposition, they're coordinating, which would be Jagmeet Singh with the NDP. They're trying to crack down on corporative loopholes, but obviously it's not going to work, because with any loophole they pretend to tighten, they're going to loosen another, because they themselves very much enjoy these lucrative opportunities within our tax system. So they claim to fix all of the problems of the middle and lower class while actually fucking them up and making them much worse. Meanwhile, the rich are going to continue to get richer because they understand the game. They're playing the game and they watch it, and they're part of that. And it's heartbreaking, because the people that vote for this garbage are the same people being afflicted by it. And it sucks, because I can shout from the fucking rooftops and most people just look at me like I am batshit crazy. It's the same thing for crypto, man.
I know what you mean, dude. I know exactly what you mean, dude. I'm similar, into like calling out certain injustices or trying to open people's eyes, and just like you, bro, like, they think I'm just, the crazy conspiracy guy.
Do you want to know my best response to that? Ask them where the word conspiracy theorist comes from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I've gone down that whole conversation, bro. It's just like, deer in the headlights when I talk to people, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then at that point, either they become scared or they're predisposed. God damn it! I can't even say the word. I've had
predispositioned.
Thank you so much. You elaborated on that for me. God damn, why can't I speak better on rum than beer? This is new to me. But anyways, they're God damn it, I'm not even gonna say it. Anyways, they are.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Predisposition to not want to hear something that they believe that they know they're wrong about, because nobody likes being
wrong. Dude. Cognitive dissonance.
If you were to come against me, that's exactly cognitive dissonance. If you were to come against me and tell me that everything that I know and I believe in is wrong, my brain is going to do everything it can to say, fuck you, no, you're wrong, and I'm right. And that's just how it is. And honestly, I wish I knew a way to combat this, because the only way I've found so far is to find a middle ground. And it's to pick your battles very carefully during a conversation like this, so that they believe they're right for at least 50% of the conversation. Because then I found, as you talk to them about more of these things, if you just give up on some aspects, if you can choose in your mind which aspects are more important, at least to you, and to battle for those positions, and then to organize them in a sense where they're going to get the half of the positions that you don't give a shit about right, but then they're going to be questioned on the other half of the position. I find they learn so much more. Like it can't be an all or nothing, because then it's just a lose-lose for you, period.
Yeah, I found out that I just plant seeds, and just like you said, I pick and choose, who I have these conversations with. The moment I speak to, like, I'm a people person. Everywhere I go, I talk to people, and right away I can see, where, what kind of conversation we're gonna have, or kind of like what their views are. I just let people talk, and then quickly, they reveal themselves.
When you said plant seed, you reminded me of the man who broke my brain. when I say broke my brain, I mean broke it of the mainstream narrative. And like I had other buddies who were red pilling me and getting me to look into other things, but this was the man that truly broke me and helped me branch off into my own plant, if you will, for planting seeds. And that was the exact wording that he used when I talked to him about it later. He said, I'm not trying to convince you on anything, but I am going to plant these seeds in your mind during these conversations because it's something I want you to think about and it's something I want you to grow on your own. And I want you to come to your own conclusion, even if it's the right conclusion or the same conclusion I believe in, because I believe you'll come to it. You just need time to think about it.
Yeah, that's true, dude. I remember I read this book that talked about, whatever you feed, just like whatever you feed your body, right? The same thing as whatever you feed your brain can be garbage, right? So, the book was talking about how if you just feed yourself nothing but garbage, right? Um, then what kind of fertile soil do you have, in your brain? What's growing? You know what I mean? What ideas? What
Do you
thoughts? What
know
is it
that
that
book?
Um,
I'm standing
I
on
have
my
it saved,
whiteboard.
dude, on a phone. I have it saved on a phone somewhere. I'll look for it, dude. I've seen you
If
on
you
here a few
can,
times. I can send it to you. But it's crazy because
yeah,
the
man,
book talks about
just send
it talks
it to me.
about the mind. Having the mind needs to be like soil. So this is where the concept of like planting seeds, right? Like, let's say I plant some seeds, and whoever I talk to has certain views on life. Um, but then those seeds that I plant, whether that soil is good and fertile or not, it'll sprout and grow and turn into something, right? And I believe that if that person is ready, because I honestly think that a lot of the
Well,
people
no,
that I talk to
100%.
are just not ready to hear it too. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly it. You're planting a seed in barren soil. You can plant all you want, but in the end, it's not going to grow. So yeah, no, I 100% what you're getting. And Matt, if you can just send me a DM, just send me it saying hi so that the chat is open. When you find that book, please send that to me, man. Like I read a fair amount, and that's
Yeah, for
something I'm
sure,
interested
dude.
in.
Hey, Pulse OG, I think we just spoke. We're talking about Link and how to pulse.com.
Yeah, man. I sent an app to Papa Boner as that conversation raised a lot of red flags for me. Can you like dig into that so that maybe I have a better understanding?
Yeah, of
First of
course.
all,
So, are you
where
guys
did you speak
familiar
to
with
Papa Bono?
howtopulse.com?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you go to like the developers, Link is the first person that pops up. He's the developer, researcher, and art designer. And then also J Money
J Money.
um, helped me set up my migration wallet and my Vault wallet.
Vault.
He didn't ask for any information. He just kind of
Hey man,
told me step.
I gotta jump in and I gotta say J Money is fucking hilarious because that's from Inside Job. I love that show. But okay, so he is somebody who is he's well within the community. He's got his own thing. So I'm not telling you not to trust him, but I do have questions. So when you talk to Papa Boner, did you talk to him over the voice chat or was this through DMs?
Yeah, I can just I've talked to him multiple times, but just not about this. But I reached out to Papa Bonier. I
It's
said,
Papa Boner. It's okay. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny.
okay, yeah, Papa Boner. I said, you've helped me in the past with crypto related questions, and I'm very appreciative of your patience and information. I was wondering if you knew Link, who Link is. He says he's helping with individuals who've done the sacrifice by KYCing them. Is he trustworthy? And anyways, he said, yeah, Link is only, in my opinion, a good guy. He is on the howtopulse.com team. It is possible for you to build a bot and manage it yourself, but you would have to be a good developer to make an effective one. If you need their help because you have reasons to believe, and then I kind of explained to him my situation, and he kind of called me an idiot. And he said, he kind of told me, he gave me advice on things that would actually wouldn't work because the situation has changed. But then I just asked him if I could speak with him on a chat, and he said I'm really busy, but you can catch me on the Pulsechain chat. And I this was yesterday
So
actually.
this was all over DM. Okay, so that don't get me wrong. I like Papa Boner. The guy is a fucking genius. He's taught me a lot, and he's taught a lot of other people a lot. But the fact that you weren't talking to him over a voice chat and he's telling you to do things concerns me. It raises red flags, though they might not be reasonable. Well, they are reasonable, but whatever. My point of the matter is I would advise you to have a like voice to voice chat with Papa because there are so many impersonators out there and I cannot verify that the guy you were talking to is actually him. On top of that, I don't know who this Lank guy is. And on top of that, even though he called you an idiot, which, hey, listen, we might do the same thing here, but it's out of love. All right, because we want to help you grow and build.
Of
So
course.
I want to hear from you why you believe your wallet is compromised and why you are seeking this advice.
All right. So about 8 or 9 months ago, I was working as a international sales representative for a international online casino company in Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian. My family's from there, and I made a lot of friends while I lived there. But I live in America, and my friend gave me a call about a year ago and said, "Hey, like, listen, like, there's a great opportunity. You could be making 15K a month. You just be an English sales manager and managing a couple of sales reps under you." And so I came there, I worked there for a few months, and I kind of realized that it's slightly illegal what they're doing. And after talking to my dad and my mom, we kind of all agreed that it would be better for me not to work there anymore. And as I was leaving, because my friend who invited me to work there, he didn't know I was leaving because it was just a really weird situation. I just kind of wanted to grab all my things and leave. Um, the last thing he said to me was that I'm gonna regret leaving, and I'm like, okay, all right, well, whatever. And so I left anyways, and he was like texting me through Telegram. I deleted all the messages because I deleted him. I blocked him. Um, and he was telling me how like they're gonna try to ruin my life, or if I do anything, they're gonna ruin my life.
Okay, well,
So
one, that's horrifying. That's
say that
horrifying.
again.
But I said that's horrifying because you got
Yeah.
yourself into a bad spot with bad people. And at least you realized that it was the wrong thing and that you bailed on it. But my next question is, where were your seeds in all of this? And where are you now versus where they are? Do they know where you are?
So so they don't know where I am. Well, they know what state I'm in, but they don't know exactly where I'm at. But let me just continue with the story for you to get all the information. So when I got back to America, I still made a significant amount of money while working there. They paid me in cryptocurrency. That's how they paid everyone. That's how they paid the majority of their employees. And so I got paid in cryptocurrency. So they knew my address, and um, I basically a month after that, I created a MetaMask account, and I was stupid enough to screenshot the seed phrase. And so I screenshotted the seed phrase from my MetaMask account, and I kept it in my phone for about a week and a half until I found out it was the dumbest thing. It was probably the dumbest decision I've made. And so I quickly deleted it, went into my Apple ID and deleted it inside of the Apple ID. Um, and nothing really happened because I had money in there for about a month and a half. Rather, I had cryptocurrency in there for a month and a half, and nothing happened to it. And then I sacrificed for PulseX. And then I moved to another city,
My friend is the landlord, and so he said, "Hey, I have a house you can move into." And I was like, "Perfect." And all our friends kind of lived there, but the problem was there were two other people that had like slightly like a not a criminal past, but like a sketchy past. And my room was not connected, but right by that person's room. And I remember going to the shower and then coming back, and my door, I always close my door when I come in and out of the room, and I left the door always closed. And when I came back to it after the shower, it was slightly open, and so I kind of didn't really have a recollection of it if I closed it or not. I just didn't give it any thought. But then I noticed that my notebook was also kind of moved a little bit. And to be honest, now like look, when I think back at it, it just could have been a coincidence. But all my seed phrases are in my notebook.
Don't assume. Don't assume it was a coincidence, and don't trust anyone, man. So if Papa Boner told you that like you fucked up, I'm gonna agree with him right here, man, because there are so many fuck ups in the story that I can't even man, I feel bad for you, but I'm gonna tell you, you fucked up hard. And also, are you listening on do you have a microphone with speakers on a computer? Because if you do, I'm listening to myself echo, and it's hard, man. It's hard.
I'll make myself mute whenever I don't talk.
Please, thank you. Sorry, it's very hard to speak and hear my own thoughts while I'm listening to my own voice echo back. So there are so many things wrong with that. I'm glad that you noticed the oddities, right? You noticed your door was open. You noticed your notepad was shifted, right? So these are all red flags. And the fact that you had your seed words in those notepads is, man, it's not good. Man, like none of this is any good because it's not hard to find where someone is. It's really not, unless precautions are taken. And even then, it just takes the right person to find that person. So if you were being paid like 15K a month to onboard people or do whatever you were doing, these people have money, man, period. Right. And I can tell you just from basic slip ups that I've seen people message me, I've located which part of the state they're in just because of their minor slip ups. And that's just me being bored and trying to see if I can do it. Right. So yeah, that's fucking horrifying. I don't know this Lank guy. I don't. Sorry, you want to speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, and so like you said, I mean, I made many mistakes when it comes to this particular situation. Um, and kind of I kind of mentioned this to Papa Boner like 5 months ago as well, and of course he called me an idiot, and I was like, all right, I understand. And J Money was also. Are you familiar with J Money at all?
I'm not. I thought Jay Money and Lank were the same people. Again, I'm not in this chat room a lot, and I'm doing my very best to not call you an idiot because I'm trying to be nice here. But oh boy, did you fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually talked to the kid when I like the next day after I noticed all this stuff, and I basically kind of like scared him a little bit, and I said like, yo, listen, like this and this happened. I'm gonna take the notebook like to the police station and get like fingerprints, like kind of bullshitting it. And he seemed very honest about everything, and he's like, yeah, I'll give you like my full name, all the information if you need that. um
So
I
what
also
tells
I also
you that he wasn't lying? Because I'm not gonna lie. If I had some kid trying to bullshit me and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take this to the police station. I'm gonna do this," which the police station's not gonna do without proper evidence or a crime being committed, right? So anybody with half a brain can see through it. Versus somebody with, I'm assuming, millions of dollars. Because again, if they were paying you $15,000 a month, what are they paying other people, and what power do they control, and then what connections do they control? Because it sounds like you were dealing with a terrifying organization. If I was in your if I was in your shoes, I would be fucking scared.
Right, right. But so I guess one of like the only I have two options. Either I just wait until PulseX and Pulsechain launches and then I quickly send it to my Vault wallet, or the second option, which J Money, Papa Bonir, and Link have given me, is that I even just got off the phone with Link. He told me, he basically even said like, "Hey, listen, like, yeah." I told him the story, and he said, "Hey, listen, like, to be honest, like, you could see it from a worrisome perspective, but I would." He said, "Just put in some Ethereum into the wallet and see if if something changes. But if it does go
Now,
down."
if you want my opinion, I agree with that, but I would put it to the next level. Unless you dumped in a serious money, like serious money into Pulse Chain, if you can afford to take the hit on it, put the same amount of money into Ethereum or whatever into your wallet that you put into Pulse Chain. Make it equivalent. Because unless these guys understand what they hold, they'll rob it immediately. And if they rob it immediately, then you know. But for example, say they know that you put in, I don't know, let's say $10,000 for easy math. All right. They know you put in 10 grand, but they know you sacrificed for Pulse Chain 100 grand, right? Then, you can put in 10 grand all you want. They don't give a shit. They're after the 100 grand. So I don't know, is it economically feasible for you to go that route? And I'm not talking these guys down. I don't even know if you talked to the correct Papa Boner, because as far as I've heard, you've only discussed with him through text chat. And it's not hard to mimic people on this platform, which is what concerns me most. And on top of that, I mean, like I said, I'm not big on this community, or at least in this voice chat or whatever. I don't know who Lank is. I don't know who J Money is. I thought they were the same person when you were speaking of them. So like I'm out of the loop on this. I'm only trying to give you an outside perspective.
Right, right. Well, I don't have the problem is I don't have the funds to be able to kind of put an equivalent sum of what I sacrificed with.
No, and that's all you gotta say. So then my
Yeah,
next question is, do you have the time to stay on the voice chat and to continuously probe Papa Boner in order to get him on this voice chat to confirm that it is him? Because
of course.
yeah, if you have that, even though you don't have the funds, then I think that's the best solution. Because again, we're dealing with entities that I'm unaware of. So I don't want to see you get robbed by a secondary source because someone that claims they're Papa Boner is and told you to deal with these people, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, if I was trying to scam people, I would be impersonating the revered members of the community, and then I would be consulting with you, pretending to be them, and then say, "Hey, yeah, this guy over here, this is the guy to talk to," right? When in reality, you're talking to two scammers.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry I don't have more information or
No,
things to
no,
help
it's
you with.
completely fine. No, I mean, it's an issue, so I'm not. It's not gonna be solved easily. But what I'm trying to say is that, um, like J Money and Papa Boner, they've been in this community for a really long time now, um, and I've heard Boner mention them in the past, in the voice chat very easily, and he said that they're trustworthy individuals and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to wait until Papa Boner is in uh, is in the live chat and just kind of get a confirmation that it was him, and that again ask him a few questions about it. But basically, what Link NJ Money and how to Pulse.com do. They just give information about Pulsechain, PulseX, all that stuff. They have a YouTube channel as well that they've been posting for the
No,
past 5
I
years.
know how to pulse. I know how to pulse. I just don't know the admins or the people behind it. I've heard of it. I've seen what they do, right? They try and help the people that have been wronged in one way or another, or I should say fucked up in one way or another. The only thing is, I don't know how I can trust those people. And right, like I'm at a security level where I am paranoid of everything. And like you can
I'm the same
when
way.
Papa Boner comes on, ask how paranoid Crypto Quack is, because I've had extensive conversations with him of wiping my computer over connecting to a fucking Wi-Fi network. So when you want to talk about paranoid, right? Like I've got my setup where I'm impervious to a wrench attack, and realistically, the only way that people are getting my keys is if one, they can beat the shit out of me, two, they can find part of my encrypted keys, and three, they can figure out the puzzle behind them. If they can't do that, they get nothing.
Is there any way to rearrange your keys in different orders?
Yeah, there's a few different methods. I mean, you can encrypt them yourself, or there is the shit. What's it called? Starts with an S. Let me get back to you on that. There is a common way to encrypt your keys with very few people knowing. That is a common encryption method that makes it easy. And it starts with an S. I think it's Sifo-Dyas, but I might be wrong. That sounds like a name from Star Wars. So don't fucking quote me on that. Let me do a little bit of digging and see if I can find it for you.
For sure, for sure. Wait, so you're saying that there is a method to be able to just change your your 12-word seed phrase in different orders, and then
you're using a 12-word seed phrase? Are you just using MetaMask?
No, I used MetaMask initially. I sacrificed from the MetaMask, and then I used the migration wallet, and then used that migration wallet for a new MetaMask. And
okay, but migration doesn't actually fix your problem of 12-word seed that could be compromised. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What you cannot do is change the order in which you need to re-input those seed words.
Right. You can encrypt it in a way with any form of encryption. Just Google encryption and look at different encryption methods and a way to organize those 12 words in a way that you understand based on an algorithm that you pick. Because there's thousands of them. There's thousands. So unless somebody knows what algorithm you're using, and that's the way I do it, then they're never going to get your shit. Unless they just brute force all of it, which I mean that's kind of a flaw in my book, because
so
they could pick all of them and brute force all.
So after I like look at these encryptions, how am I going to apply that to my migration seed phrase? How is that?
I think you should eliminate your migration. So you should figure out, one, how you're going to race the hackers, which like we've talked about, if that's through J Money or fucking, I'm sorry, what was the other guy's name? Jake?
Lank,
right. Lank, like fucking Link. Yeah, like from Legend of Zelda. Right, Lank. Okay. If you talk to them and they can actually secure your crypto, the first thing you should be doing is securing a 24-word seed. Now, whether that's from Gnosis or from a hardware wallet, I think that's a huge one. And honestly, you should have one of those set up now for any more money you put on top of the funds.
I already have a Vault wallet with 24 words in it.
Okay, so that should be your new main wallet, unless you have concerns that that one has been compromised.
No, there's no way.
Was that in your book?
Compromised.
So that was not in your book. that was compromised? Because you said your seed words were written in a book.
So I got
when
the migration. I got the migration and the Vault hardware wallets afterwards.
Yeah, but what you did is you migrated those compromised seeds, correct?
the compromised seeds, yes, but
seeds- when we say compromised, I mean we don't know if they're compromised. I don't know if they're compromised. This is
we're
all
going to
just
assume they're compromised. No,
exactly.
after what you said, we are going to assume they're compromised. So from this point forward, they're compromised. So now your 24 word seeds that you created, whether from hardware or from Gnosis, those were after the fact and those have been secured since, correct?
The Vault wallet seed phrases.
The 24 word, yes. So when you say vault, I'm assuming you mean the Gnosis vault?
Yeah, those have not seen the day of light. I wrote those down on 2 pieces of paper, and they're both in my safe.
Good. Do you keep them together?
Well, it's a weird thing. It's like, one of the notes is like underneath the what's it called? Sorry, I'm just a little bit out of it. Underneath the safe, and the safe is kind of like screwed into the carpet, and so like to get it out is like almost impossible. And then the other one is actually inside the safe.
Okay, that's actually a clever way of doing it, unless you run into a water problem, in which case half of your seed is gone, unless you have them backed up somewhere else. And when you want to talk about out of it, buddy, I'm like fucking 9 beers deep and I'm pretty drunk. So don't you give me the excuse you're out of it.
But yeah, so just so we're clear, I have my MetaMask seed phrase could have been compromised, right? But because J Money told me and all this stuff, they didn't really know at the time that it was compromised. They just said, "Hey, just to be safe, you need to have a migration wallet and then you Vault wallet." So I set all that stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done that in a heartbeat. I wouldn't trust your MetaMask anymore. Um, Dude, if there was any reason that I thought any of my seed phrases were compromised, I would be heartbroken because there's no way to properly verify that they're not until you're fucking robbed. So, like,
Right. So are there any steps that I can do right now to like, I mean, if I just change one word, two words, two positions of the words, um, in
shit,
the
man.
seed phrase.
Give me 1 second. I don't know if you dropped or my headphones dropped, but all I heard is there any steps now? And then everything cut out. Give me 2 seconds. And
Yeah,
I'll pop back.
what I said was, are there any steps right now that I can do for my migration wallet where I can just, because that's where I'm going to be receiving the PulseX and the Pulsechain, right? Is to my migration wallet. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you repeat that again, mate? Sorry, I don't know if we lost Quack.
Gotcha.
Sorry, what was your question just there? I only caught the tail end of it. I was busy.
Yeah, my question was, now that I believe that my seed phrase has been compromised, is there any way to be able to switch the seed phrases, the positions of the seed phrases, so that if
No,
someone does
no,
have my seed phrase, I can switch it. I
no,
can switch it
no,
so that they can stick. Huh?
no, no, no. That can't be done.
Okay.
So when Quack was talking about encryption earlier, what he's meaning is when you store them, you can encrypt them in such a way that makes it almost impossible for someone other than you to decipher. The order of those 12 words does not change. So, I'll agree with Quack that if there's any doubt whatsoever that it's compromised, then you just, well, again, if it's sacrifice, if you've got anything in there, move it. And yeah, you just have to be faster to the punch, which I'm guessing you will be. I don't know if the guy that possibly saw your seed phrases knows the first thing about crypto and how to use it. But again, you have to presume that they do or will find out. And you want to be safe. So, you have to be on the ball and in there quick. And if you're getting advice from guys like Lank and, J Money, then you're in good hands there. So yeah, it's basically about getting there faster. And then
Guys, my mic has shit the bed. I need to like reset my phone and figure all this fucking garbage out. I'll be back in a little bit. D, I hope you can fucking handle this, and we'll be back from there. Sorry, man.
no
All good,
problem.
man.
D, are you at all familiar with them?
With what?
Are you familiar with like J Money and Link at all, or howtopulse.com?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they have been
They're
so
legit
kind. I
guys.
mean, J Money. Yeah, J Money was nice enough to even go on a not a video chat, but a voice chat with me for about an hour and a half, just helping me set up a migration wallet, setting up a vault wallet. He didn't ask for any information at all. He just kind of told me the steps,
Yeah.
and didn't even ask anything for it. He was just a very nice person. And so now I'm dealing with, okay, so there is a chance that my mm, migration wallet has been compromised, my 12-word seed phrase. The next best thing I can do is now, instead of trusting whether or not it has been compromised, now I can trust kind of the people who have helped me throughout this process and didn't ask anything back for it. And they ask for 15% of your sacrifice amount, which is very reasonable just for at least peace of mind for me, because I've been I've been kind of struggling a little bit, like in like once or twice a week I'll just think about it and get a little bit depressed, and just knowing that I'll have that peace of mind where they're going to KYC me, and they have bots. They've been developing bots to be able to do everything very quickly. I think that that's my
Right.
best choice right now.
Well, I mean, that's your choice to make. But yeah. I mean, if it's that serious, then yeah, I know people can develop bots and things to go in there and snafu it real quick. And if you're dealing with J Money and Lank, um, then you're in pretty safe hands. I know Quack was a bit worried because you were talking to Papa Boner over DM, which is always a bit of a red flag. But I mean, if you've been speaking to J Money in a voice, I mean, it's. I always prefer to start in here speaking with people in this room because it's pretty secure. You can't really get away with being a scammer, not in the voice chat, you know. So it's always my first go-to, and I've learned a hell of a lot out of this room. I've not spent that much time in it recently because I've been busy with other projects, but um, I like to come back in and try and pay it forward, so to speak. But in your position, certainly, you safest route is to presume that you are racing somebody to that money. Um, I mean, were they aware that you had a sacrifice? I mean, was that even something they knew about? That you had
No, they
this
weren't. They weren't
sacrifice
aware.
and that there's a certain time that sacrifice has to, you understand?
Yeah, they weren't aware.
Right, so there's probably absolutely no chance that they're looking to steal your sacrifice then. Um, I don't know what they've advised you, but it's always a because I've actually had a compromised wallet myself. Um, it wasn't a sacrifice or anything, so I didn't have that worry. Although it doesn't sound like you have specifically that worry if they didn't even know it was a thing. Whereas a lot of scammers will want to get your seed phrases so that they can then steal your sacrifice because they're paying attention and they have bots as well to go in and just whip it out. So I've been through that myself. You can always plant a little bit of money in there and see what happens. I presume it's empty just now. You've sacrificed from it, so it looks empty. It reads 0. Yes.
Yeah, it's empty. It's completely empty.
Right. Well, I mean, apart from anything else, you will need some ETH in there to move your sacrifice once it drops into your wallet. So, it's probably worth throwing a little bit of money in there in ETH just for gas fees or in USD to keep it safe until whenever. I suppose now is as good a time as ever as any to buy ETH or anything else for that matter. And if they are watching it, then they'll probably steal that, and then you'll know for sure that someone is watching that wallet and doing something with it. Was the person into crypto?
Gotcha.
Did they show any interest? Did they know anything about crypto?
Say that again.
Was the person in question in any way knowledgeable about cryptocurrency?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, we just presume they are then, and when they've seen these 12 words written down, they've recognized them. Um, yeah, I mean, I would certainly do a little plant and see if anyone's taking anything out of it. That's what I would do, because you're going to need ETH to move your sacrifice anyway. So, if you know sooner rather than later, then it's better.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if you are, can't confirm if you are or not speaking to the right people. I can only take it on the names you're telling me and the story you're giving me. If it is them, then yeah, sure enough, they're legit guys from How to Pulse. But yeah, I would put some money in the wallet. I would put some ETH in the wallet because you're going to need it anyway. And then you'll probably find out if some little shysters try to scoof money out of it if they're actually paying attention.
Gotcha. I appreciate that, DG. Thank you. Thank you for your guys' time.
It's no problem, man. Just prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
I like that saying. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Take care.